justice in America. Really, that's all most people are looking for today, justice. Most Americans want the government to not trample on our rights, to live free and have the opportunity to make the best out of our lives that we can, and for justice to be done to those that harm us or others or our country. But in order to have real justice, you need truth. Truth. That's something you just don't see in America much these days. You see, the political class has decided the truth, it's just too harmful to their vision for the country. Just remember that. The CEO of a news organization, NPR, which is run by the government and paid for by you, said this about truth. Listen.
That perhaps for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth might not be the right place to start. In fact, our reverence for the truth might be a distraction that's getting in the way of finding common ground and getting things done.
Really? The truth is the problem to these people, you see? It's definitely a problem to Joe Biden, because if people in the media were willing to tell the truth, there's no way Joe Biden should even come close to winning the presidential election this year. Furthermore, truth be told, shouldn't be the president today. That's a fact. We also all know what the legal warfare against President Trump is. It's complete nonsense, totally directed by Joe Biden, the White House, and the DOJ. Listen to this.
Matthew Colangelo, who used to be the number 3 under Merrick Garland at the Department of Justice. He left that cushy job at the Department of Justice to go be a line prosecutor in a city office. That shows how coordinated this is. It's not just him. In fact, there was a law firm here in New York City that's known as a Democrat law firm that handed over a few of its attorneys to help bring charges against Donald Trump. This is part of a widespread and coordinated effort, and I think everyone kind of knows it.
But the media continue to say that Joe Biden's White House or Department of Justice has nothing at all to do with these Trump trials, even though we all know the DOJ spied on Trump's campaign in 2016 and into his presidency, and maybe even till today. But they still continue to deny it.
He said this case is all Biden. There is precisely zero evidence that President Biden had anything to do with orchestrating, running this case. So he says that pretty much every time. It's completely out of thin air.
Yeah, of course, now the state of Arizona, another state run by Democrats at the top of government, has gotten into the fray. They have indicted a few Trump allies like Mark Meadows, Rudy Giuliani, to name a couple, for what they say was an effort to subvert the 2020 election. But the message is clear. The Democrats are saying you better not question the results of any election. You can only do that if a Democrat loses, because something tells me if Biden loses in this year's election, well, they won't hesitate to scream it was stolen and drag it all into court. Anyway, Arizona's Attorney General Chris Mays put it this way.
But as I have stated before and will say here again today, I will not allow American democracy to be undermined. It's too important. The investigators and attorneys assigned to this case took the necessary time to thoroughly piece together the details of the events that began nearly 4 years ago. They followed the facts where they led, and I'm very proud of the work they've done to date. We're here because justice demands an answer to the efforts that the defendants and other unindicted co-conspirators allegedly took to undermine the will of Arizona's voters during the 2020 presidential election.
You see, they're just fighting for democracy by making sure you keep quiet. Because in order to keep our democracy, sometimes the truth, it just can't be said.